Have you done other conventions, and are we planning on doing more?
As a group or individual?
We do as a group quite a bit. We did quite a few this year. Great time doing them. And then Tom and I are going to Rock Show next week. And we have a couple lined up next year already. So, yeah. Our Facebook pages. We put up on our Facebook pages so you know what we're doing. And don't believe anybody until you see it on our Facebook pages. Because sometimes people will say, oh, we're coming, and we all go, we are, and we're not. So, yeah, you have to watch it.
It's been really fun. I mean, I've only done a few of these, but it's been so much fun. Fun to see everybody again, and just to see all you guys and drink alcohol.
I have a favorite. Hello, my mom.
Yeah.
Mom. There's a favorite moment in the movie. The favorite moment for me in the movie is a very quiet moment, and it's when two paramedics come in and try to administer help to Jimmy, and how do you tell somebody that they're dead? You know, well, what does that mean? Well, technically, they're dead. And it really worked at trying to help these two, and I thought it was incredible. And a very quiet moment, Jimmy, the two paramedics get dispatched, get killed. And I'm saying, well, where did this go? It's horrific, and there's no solution. And I love that moment. They played very quietly and terrifying.
When you mentioned that scene with the paramedics, it reminded me, this is a story that I know some people don't know. There's the two paramedics, one is a blonde guy and one is a brunette with a beard. The blonde paramedic is a guy named Drew Egan, who was a stand-in on the film. The movie, it was not a big budget movie, so we had two stand-ins for the entire film. There was a lovely blonde, very, very pretty blonde girl named Leslie. Beautiful, Leslie Brennan, Totsy. And Drew, and they literally stood in for everyone in the movie. I don't know how they did that, but Drew was the stand-in on the film and also an aspiring actor. And the actor they had hired to play that part was a good friend of Tom Fox, the executive producers. And he was terrible. He was not good. And he couldn't get his lines right, and he just was not pulling it off. And Dan O'Bannon went up to Tom, the producer, and said, your friend sucks. And he's ruining my movie, and this isn't going to happen. And so Tom said, do what you need to do. And Dan literally turned to Drew, the stand, and said, Drew, come here. And they put him in the paramedic outfit, and that's how he got the part. And Drew's really good in the movie. He's great. I mean, he does a couple of things where, like, he looks at the temperature and sees that it's room, and he kind of does and then, like, tries to hide it from Jimmy. I mean, Drew does these great little bits and little moments. I love that story, because he was just our stand-in, quote unquote, and then he gets thrown this part, and he's really good at it.
I love when Drew in the van, and so wet, the things with his hand, get the water. Hello. and that's called getting bumped in the business. It's called getting bumped. And he was, he was an expert in the movie, or stand-in and all that. But in the movies, that's why so many times a guy go and borrow your drinking partner and runs. He says, that's it. He's now a sweet bit. And so he got bumped real good. I mean, you got to give him something. He's really good at it. Both of them. Both of them. Very effective and very tough.
There's someone over there first.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, if maybe you guys could share a little, maybe as John was saying about, Brian, experiences with Dan O'Bannon and what it was like to work with him and how he helped you guys shape each one of these characters.
Well, he scared me half to death, so I just kept on it. It was scary for me.
Well, he was what they call an auteur. He he's the author, the writer, and the director. So he was a bit of a martinet to work with. He was very exacting. But we were afforded 2 weeks of rehearsal. How many weeks of rehearsal?
Sorry, I'm looking up Martinet in my dictionary. Martinet in my dictionary.
Martinet, oh, okay. Yeah, he was tough.
A really pretty word for tough.
But you know, it was his baby, it was his creation, and you know, so he was very, had to be this way. If he didn't think you were very good, he'd say, okay, stand over there, and he would do your part. What are you? And that's unheard of. But he would enact it for you, not just one along with it, because it was all there in the script. I mean, hell of a script. And we all worked hard at it, you know, brought things to it.
And the audition process was long too. He took his time casting us. He watched us all work with different people together. Many times we filmed us working on auditions, and he must have studied them because I think he came up was a group of actors that are all doing something different. Like so, when you watch the movie, every actor is really involved in some bit of business instead of just doing the same thing, which I think is hysterically funny. But I think he saw that in the audition, so it was like that made his job a little bit easier by taking his time in our casting process.
I think all the talking about Dan being tough and all that, it makes it sound like he was, like an ass to work with. And for me, he was not. He wrote the script, he directed it. He had a very, very, very clear vision in his head of what he wanted the movie to be. And it was, not a big budget. We were always under time constraints. We were always rushing to get it done. We had all these effects that needed to work. And as you know, every effect in this movie was a practical effect. There's no CGI or post-production effects. So everything had to work on camera, on set, in the rain. And he was under a lot of stress and under a lot of pressure. And there was a lot of people behind the scenes on the production end who were not making it easy on you. They were really pressuring you. So he was not like, in a position to joke around and be like the jovial bon vivant. He was under a lot of stress. But that being said, what's that?
What's a bon vivant?
Oh, sorry. Get out your dictionary again. Someone who's jovial and sort of the social guy. Anyway, but he was under a lot of stress. But that being said, he was really collaborative with us, and he was really great about letting the actors bring something to the movie. And if you had an idea, he was very open to it. If you had an ad lib or wanted to change the line, he was really great with us that way. So, while he had a very clear vision and he knew what he wanted, he was still also very open to, our input and what we wanted to do as well. And as Don said, he really, really loved to act out what he wanted us to do. And it's funny because there's a book coming out about all the Vedette films, coming out this month, I think. And I just online, I saw a little preview of some of the pages, and I don't know who supplied the photos, but there are several photos of Dan on set acting out the scene while the actors are standing back watching. So if you get that book, you'll see the photos where Dan is like, manically acting what he wanted you to do. So it was a way of, they always say that's a terrible way to direct actors, but frankly for him, it was a shorthand, and for me, rather than sitting around and taking 20 minutes to explain what he wanted, he just jumped up and did it. It was like, okay, I get it, that's what I'll do.
Brian, do you remember him acting out the Tombstone dance?
That would be burned in my memory for all eternity. Yes, that's one scene he did not act out. That was all Linnea. Tell us about doing that Tombstone dance, Linnea.
If I could go down the panel and just ask you guys, what was your best memory and worst memory from filming the whole production of it?
My best memory was being cast